Alright, Elon Musk and X.com team. I have a phenomenal brand strategy I think could be key to a lot of things with the economy. I think it could be the Occupy Mars advancement of government Elon Musk has been talking about. Also, gamifying the learning process and codifying the learning process. You can get this advanced patent alert system and skills web tree, and I can talk about that in a moment, but in an app of everything, you're talking about how things are feathered together, different consumer marketplace teams and major market verticals that are feathering together to create advanced architectures, an advanced transaction system that's identity access based and talks about records management between many systems. And that's why I talk about the Cyberforce model and different core architectures that are managed, relevant to identity, relevant to legal, relevant to how we collaborate through social media and resumes, how those are built in the future, relevant to psychology, a lot of different markets. Universal product coding, you need an answer there for advancing accounting. And so you can talk about how architectures come together and evolve through a skills and concept mapping engine that exists in the marketplace. There are Imagix and Northwood Software could plug a version of modeling tool into an online portal that educators can work with, and you can build skills maps that relate to different learning webs, and you work on building these infrastructures together such that they can be your fundamental architecture and advanced patent alert systems. And you work on producing easy to approach content, work on producing tools for producing easy to approach content, and like Mastery.com makes for employee training and compliance, but you can do this in a way that opens up the documentary sphere to a tremendous set of profit streams, and through partnerships with streaming services and the ways content can be dissected, you'll get new categories that help people follow along with complex topics. And these will relate to features on social media for sorting through who you want to listen to in a social media forum based upon who's following along with the conversation. But the bigger point is there's a set of articles of incorporation and a way you can create a new strategy, an extension of government for how we manage these infrastructures in the future, which will be required to have a strategy like this for managing how free markets. This is a key thing to understand for how an app of everything will come together. And so I think if you can associate a brand with this that has some engineering lessons, and that's what I'm trying to go for with this strategic pivot. The brand is all about strategically pivoting into these opportunities of the future. X.com will have many layers. This is one layer. There will be identity product layers for financial services, and all these different things can plug into X.com. But this key layer could pay if launched the right way, and I think Elon Musk could be the key person to launch this the right way. It's to his benefit, because if you launch this like a space race level competition between social medias to extend our government, and you go after a set of articles of incorporation that allow the president to have specific features, we're creating these skills maps that ultimately will flow learning content, and you focus on producing different levels of learning content, going so far as to making documentaries more interactive. And you can create this set of tools for educators to make interactive quizzes and documentaries of the future, blended interactive quizzes and documentaries together. And this also doubles as a set of dissection tools, such that you can make different learning content systems can make dissections of articles and make these all more monetizable, and there are profit sharing strategies and ways, just like Apple is creating subscription services through its interface. There's a new level of creating interesting types of content that link together, and different business models that relate to patent alert systems that relate to these concept webs. And once this all gets perfected, it could be phenomenally valuable. And if you position this like a space race, there's a C-SPAN panel, there are different things that are being talked about. The president would have a CVO for helping to drive job growth. You can go so far as providing unique tax channels to drive engagement with these programs. It's an evolution of government strategy. And so if you can come up with the right level of articles of incorporation and the right launch strategy that opens up these channels to other social medias to compete in, then you will have a way to talk about advancing architecture and recruiting, fielding and recruiting talent and protecting people who try to engage with all of this, and you'll have your evolution of government that you're looking for. I would like to talk about shortwave telemetry systems just briefly because that relates to this overall set of strategies. If you're talking about a way to build a universal automated driving set of strategies, there are likely going to be layers to that, different technologies that are feathered together. So you need an operational strategy, and it's going to be different in the automated driving sphere, but you need a strategy where the companies come together to manage their infrastructure together. And that's what this is supposed to be. In some sectors, it makes sense to do that based upon sales because it's enough to know what users prefer. But in the automated driving sphere, you're going to be looking at complex black box systems and exchange rates with insurance for one system being at fault for an accident versus another. And so you want the businesses to be able to help shape that, and you want to foster a conversation between businesses and government where regulation can get made intelligently that makes sense for the industry. And so you can talk about the way these systems come together and building a strategy for insurance networks and the markets to all work. And that's a lot of what government is there to help do, is help regulate the markets. And we're at a confusing point where there are a lot of complexities to this now. And so talking about how these systems come together and layer together, and talking about a pitch system for exploring this and patent alert systems, this can help sort through this discussion. In addition to the ways you can build features for resume enhancement and all these different marketable ways of expanding the market offerings that X.com is involved in through this set of strategies. And this is about bringing people to the table for growth. Similar to Tesla, Elon Musk wanted to talk about how Tesla couldn't get to market. Well, here's a point or a business that's all about, the point is about helping people partner to get to market. You can feature that like different network strategies do with The Apprentice and Shark Tank. You could feature a company approaching somebody thinking they have a great idea in a The Apprentice-like feature. Maybe they end up in a Workforce Heroes type feature for contributing to an infrastructure in a smaller way. But they might end up with a top job. They might end up with equity. There are ways you can feature different ways people can grow. And Damascus Steel, art and craftsmanship. There are different ways technology can be lost, and it took so long to get to this point where it's easier for us to understand why one technology works or another. There was a specific lesson in chemistry here that had to do, many believe it has to do with an ore drying up, and we were unable to produce Damascus steel for a period of time. We had to learn more about science, potentially. Lots of interesting things with this brand, Swords to Plowshares, strategically pivoting into the future, wary of the way technology is a double-edged sword. Lots of ways this branding could be great for helping X.com grow. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I would love to work with you. I love everything Elon Musk stands for. Thanks. I appreciate your time.